Hey everyone, welcome to Optimism Fractal. We're here at our 20th event. I have the pleasure to be here with Rosmari and Zaal and Abraham and Will, and also Nestor and Dani are joining us for the first time. So thanks everybody. Great to see you, Will. Great to see you all. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody for being here. Hopefully everybody's having a wonderful day. And we're about to play the Respect game as we do at Optimism Fractal. First, I'll share a little quick presentation just to show, for anybody who's not familiar with Optimism Fractal, what it is, what we're doing here, and how the meeting will work. If anyone wants to say hello or share anything quickly, then feel free. Everybody will also get a chance to speak and share their thoughts and introduce themselves during the Respect game too. But if anyone wants to give a quick wave or shout out or anything like that, then feel free. Otherwise, I'll get into my presentation. All right, so optimismfractal.com is a place where you can learn. We're working on upgrading the website a little bit, but for now, it's got a lot of good resources. Optimism Fractal is a community dedicated to fostering collaboration and awarding public goods creators and optimism, working to create an abundant future, and it's a great place to meet optimists. So we meet every week on Thursdays at 17 UTC. We recently changed the time from Mondays using the consensus process that we have, and these meetings provide a great place to network and make friends and collaborate with innovators in the Optimism Collective and really around the world as well. And it's also a place where you can earn respect too. So at each event, we play something that we call the Respect Game. It's a fascinating and very exciting and fun consensus game where players share what they've done to help optimism lately, and then we collaborate to rank each other's contributions. And when we form consensus, then we all earn respect, and you earn more respect by helping optimism more. So I'll go into a bit more detail about that. And it's also a great place to promote your work too, of course, because you can share what you're doing. And we also produce videos at each week meeting as well. So great way to raise awareness and make videos along with fellow optimists and creators. And we're very aligned with the optimistic vision with the optimism superchain and so forth. And we also have tools that we're developing too that allow people to play this on the optimism superchain. And we can share more about that soon. So, or we'll play with them, and I'll share more about that soon. But we have websites there. We put out little like tweets and casts on Farcaster here every week, so we encourage you to like and retweet and spread the word and stuff like that. Basically, it's time to summon Ether's Phoenix, which is a great idea going on about creating a world of public goods and better collaboration in the Optimism ecosystem. We have a channel that we recently started in Farcaster where you can get involved and see some recent posts and so forth, and feel free to share any thoughts. And our events, as I mentioned, every Thursday at 17 UTC. Everybody's welcome to join, so feel free to invite your friends. We love to meet new people, and we have lots of cool stuff that we can offer and do in collaboration to help everybody out as much as we can. And like I said, we also produce videos too. So if you go to optimismfractal.com/media, you can see the videos that we've produced so far. So far, we produced 14 episodes. This most recent one was about the decision-making process that we have in our consensus process, where there's a council for Optimism Fractal that can make decisions, and you can look back more to see how the council formed, as well as all sorts of different things that we've been experimenting with and ways to build a more regenerative society and to award public goods creators and evaluate impact and so forth. Lots of great stuff to watch and recommend checking out. And Rosemary also posts the most recent videos in the Discord too. So if you're not there, I recommend joining, get involved, and feel free to reach out with any questions or so forth as well. All sorts of cool stuff going on at Optimism Fractal. So, like I said, the Respect game that we play each week, the way it works basically is we go into breakout groups. We have 7, so I guess we'll go into 4 and 3 breakout groups. But we can also play it by ear though too. If we did want to say one big group, that's an option. And basically, the way the Respect game works is that participants are go into randomized groups of 36 players, and then each person gets about 3 or 4 minutes to share what they've been doing. Well, up to 4 minutes to share what they've been doing. You can also just introduce yourself and share who you are, and then share, especially over the past week or recently, what you've been doing to help the Optimism Collective. If you've been making content or inviting friends or building tools or whatever it may be, or to just feel free to introduce yourself too if you're new to optimism. That's all good as well. And then we'll work to reach consensus. And if we can reach 2/3 consensus on the ranks, then everybody earns respect. And there's more details here about how this game works and the various benefits and so forth, as well as some tutorial videos. And at optimismfractal.com/details, there's a very high-level overview of how it works too. If you're not familiar with Optimism and the Optimism Collective, recommend checking out optimism.io. Doing really amazing stuff with the collective and building a super chain with a composable unified network of blockchains that can support the internet for the future. All sorts of really cool stuff going on with Optimism and Base. And Optimistics are the team that started Optimism Fractal. You can also learn more at optimistics.io to see more about our work here as well. Lots of videos and stuff. And then after the Respect game will end by the top of the hour. We also have a planning session. So anybody who wants to stick around, you don't need to, but if you want to stick around and talk more about Optimism Fractal in general, ask any questions or have any ideas about the future, then feel free to let us know and stick around for that extra half hour. And we also do have this council process I mentioned before. The counselors you can see here on our snapshot. It's me, Rosmari, Hadlan, Tadas, and Zaal. Everyone can register and make polls if you've earned respect too. But we can go into more detail about that too. If a lot of new stuff, then no worries. We have also have a Notion page where we have lots of projects and topics that we can discuss if we want to dive into it in the future or during that planning session. And one note too that I discussed with Rosmari this week, she provided some good feedback, is we're just going to try to finish the breakout rooms like maybe 5 or 10 minutes early if you can, just so we have a bit of time to get back to the group when we're ready. And then, oh, I also put this here too, because also one kind of like public service announcement is that we're also hosting Eden Fractal events to refine these processes and so forth. So if anybody's interested to join Eden Fractal, then we have another event basically on Wednesdays where you can join and get more involved and learn as well. So that's it. I don't want to get too much information here, but I appreciate everybody listening and hope that everybody's doing well. And so we'll go play the Respect game now. Hope that made sense and hope that clarified it for everybody here. One question I have is we do have 7 people. So I know previously when we had 7 people, there was one person who said like they kind of want to just listen in. Normally we would go into 2 different breakout rooms. We'd have groups of 4 and 3. So I think that's probably what we should do. But if anybody did just want to listen and didn't really want to like play the Respect game, then we could just stay in one breakout group. So I'll assume that we all want to play and go and do the 2 breakout groups. But if anybody wants to just listen, then just let us know. We could just stay in one breakout room. Okay, cool. I see thumbs up for Abraham and Will. So I'll start the 2 breakout groups then. And then if you have any questions and you're new, then feel free to ask the people in your breakout group if for any advice. And also feel free to reach out in the Discord too if you have any questions as well. We're going to this breakout group now. We'll play the Respect game, and then we'll be back here before the top of the hour. And we'll aim for like 5 or 10 minutes early, or maybe even because we have smaller groups, maybe we can get done with within 15 minutes to pass up the hour, so we'll have more time in the big community room. Have fun.
I'm moving. I'm moving to another city and I already canceled my internet plan, so it's limited right now.
Okay. Well, that's cool. That's no problem at all. And hope that you'll get your full-on internet working well soon. I see Zal seems to have fun with it. Okay, cool. I kind of came in the middle of what Dani was saying, so I heard most of it. But also, I don't know if there was any prior conversation. If you wanted to continue that or say anything, or okay, I don't think so.
I
Okay,
was just apologizing because I met with my camera off. Yeah.
okay. Well, no worries at all. Um, all right. So hopefully that introduction made sense to you, Dani, or I think you already said that you had a chance to check it out too. So if you did have any
Yes.
questions, feel free to let us know. Okay, cool.
Yes. I just want to understand more the dynamic. And yes. I understood the intro you said. You speak very quickly. For the no English speakers, like as a native language, is kind of difficult to understand, but I'm following.
Okay, sounds good. Well, my apologies if I speak too quickly, and feel free to let me know or let any of us know really, because when we've all played the Respect game here, if there's anything that you didn't catch or if you have any other questions, and we'll also, yeah, I hope show you the way along as we go too. Okay, cool. So I see Zal is unmuted, but Zal is also joining again, I guess, from his phone or something like that. So let me
Yeah,
just.
can I go first? I wanted to share my screen also, so that's me on my computer.
Yep, absolutely. Sounds great. I just admitted you to this room from your other account. And now we have 2 Zals. The Zalception.
Yes, indeed. It's all squared. Okay. You guys can hear me?
Yes.
And okay. I am gonna go really quickly here because I don't think I've done too much for Optimism specifically in the last week. I have been building a lot of different things along the way, and I would love to ideate at the end if people are so inclined and interested. One sec, I just want to share my screen. Um, to tell me in different ways we can use optimism for what I'm building. One of the ways I do want to do it is potentially doing NFT ticketing for my event for some sort of VIP thing. Maybe it's $10, maybe it's 25, whatever it may be, maybe it's free. But I would like to do that and utilize optimism, especially because it's free in terms of gas, And if people aren't able to do it, we can kind of figure out a way to help them through that process. Essentially, what I don't know uh Denim. I guess I can give a quick intro. I'm Zaal. I'm a founder of Z Talent. What I'm currently creating right now is the Z Talent Artist Organization called the ZAO for short. The ZAO is a collective built for demystifying emerging technologies for musicians to empower independent artists, specifically musicians. And the goal is right now it's a collective, but it'll eventually become a DAO. And this structure on the side here is the DAO kind of idea or org chart. So right here is the artist, music, creation, and development. Here is where all of the artists would kind of go. And then there are different branches of that are sub departments of the whole org chart as a whole. And the goal is the community at the very top being the end all be all consensus layer, essentially deciding on whether or not proposals will go through. So the whole community joining in to approve how we're going to go about making this a DAO. Right now, it's just a collective. So we're just figuring out ways to make it more decentralized. And invite more people so we can make it a proper DAO to help independent artists create. We would like to create tools so that musicians can utilize blockchain technology. So make sure that the musician becomes the platform and the musicians don't keep using these Web3 music platforms as a way to send out their music, because in the end of the day, somewhat that's not that different than Web 2. We want the concept of Web 3 should be the musician creates the smart contracts or has someone help them create the smart contracts and their own mint site and does it right all in-house, and they can actually capture a lot of that data, and they also have all the rights to all of that then as well. So I'm really interested in trying to find different ways to incorporate that into what we're building here. A few of the things we've had voted through are the ERC 6551 marketplace. That is the nested NFTs. I guess I'm also coming close to my time, so I could chat more about that. So that's nested NFTs. I would love to do that on Optimism and 100% utilize Optimism for helping make that. The second thing we're doing is Wave Wars. That's on-chain music battle. That is coming up this Sunday. And the last thing is Zalpalooza, which is an event for NFT NYC. Do I still have 2 minutes, or did you start that late?
I started late. I think you went a bit longer,
Okay,
so I think you're probably at
that's
like
fine. I
30
can
or
end.
okay.
I can end it here, but and then we have a few ideas for the future, utilizing different ways to essentially create value for musicians instead of extracting value like typical third-party consumers. And eventually, I would like to find a way to flow money from the treasury down into creators' pockets, kind of like what Optimism did with their last airdrop. But yeah, that's a little bit. I guess, Will, you have a question for me?
I do. Who is your primary target audience? Are you targeting musicians that aren't here in Web3 yet, or are you targeting musicians that have already found their way, but they may just need some guidance along the way?
A little bit of both. Specifically, we have an event coming up, Zalpalooza for NFT NYC, that is targeting Web2 individuals. It's a concert showcase of about 17 musicians. 5 or 6 of them are completely Web 2. We're bringing the Web 3 world to them, especially with NFT NYC. It's a welcome event for NFT NYC since it's on the Wednesday. So it's just an opportunity for a bunch of musicians to meet up, talk about the different events that are coming up for the week. Also, just be around 17 musicians playing amazing music and get a feel for what Web 3 is like. And we also are going to have people teaching and talking about ways that people have made infinitely more money than they were able to make before using streaming with just selling their NFTs. And then that's just like the very most simple way of like, it would have taken me this many streams to earn this much amount of money, but then we're going to add in other layers of everything that has to do with Web3. Denim, what's up?
Hey, just want to ask if it's open, like this collective. How can I join? I'm a musician.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm a drummer, and yeah, this is very interesting.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I love that. Do you have Discord?
Yes, I do for sure.
Well, I'm going to share my Discord link in here. And in the next week, I'm planning on putting out a free NFT that token gates locks all of the Discord, so that you have to get the NFT and have a wallet to get into the a lot of the Discord, so it's not very spammy. If
Yeah,
you're new or if you're still
engaging.
learning or like to teach people. So it'll be an opportunity to teach people to slowly start using Web3 tools as well. So I will share that here,
Wow.
and I will let someone else go because we have spent a lot of time. I think we could go. I think the normal process, Dan, is go through everyone and then ask questions after, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's usually the process. But it's also fun when there's kind of a natural flow in conversation too. But yeah, we should probably keep moving though, and then ask questions after as well. So, but thanks so much, Saul. That's fascinating. And then also, that's great questions, Will and Denny. And I've
Yeah, no,
also
thank
been
you. I always love answering questions too. So feel free to ask at the end. But yeah, thank you.
Sounds great. You're very welcome, Zal. And thank you. And yeah, I recommend I joined the Discord that Zal shared, I think, as well. And I've joined some of his community calls. He does great work and really cool musician stuff going. So I also love music too. So anyway, I see Will's on camera and Danny's muted. Would anybody like to go next?
I can go next if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
With
Sounds
the
good.
group. What have I done for the Optimism Collective in the last week? Well, a lot's happened in the last week in my world. So first off, just introduce myself briefly. My name is Will T. I'm the founder of King Fishers Media LLC. We are an educational media company, and we're looking to create a paradigm shift in the sector of education, filling the two biggest content delivery needs that we found through hundreds of hours of conversations with fellow educators who operate in that from that perspective, and that focusing primarily on emerging tech and life skills content or core curriculum, right? So we also do live broadcasts on X, and we just recently transitioned that to our website as well. So we're simulcasting between X and our website, which is kingfishersmedia.io. In that emphasis, we've been running a monthly awards program that is exclusive to Optimism, in basically rewarding our community members or participants who tap in and tune into our broadcast. The most active one in three categories: contributor, listener, and emoter. Yes, we reward people for their emojis on X Spaces. So in those three categories, we have a monthly awards show. We have a whole program around that. We mint ERC 11c5s for them, and then we distribute them out safely and securely to their wallet. That being said, the accomplishment for this week is that we were able to work back with our development team. We were having some issues on getting the metadata, specifically around the images, uploaded into the smart contract so that we could finalize that process. We got that solved for this week, and we delivered those awards to our February recipients as we're now transitioning into the month of March. So we haven't announced those winners yet until March closes and we do all of our broadcasts. So there's that. Additionally, we have in flight a builder grant proposal for Optimism, where our abstract on the proposal is to create a decentralized learning management solution. We're not calling it a system, we're calling it a solution. And we feel it's a very novel idea because there's very few instances that we found doing our own research of these existing right now. So it would give us some first mover advantage perspective there, if that is such a thing in Web3 anymore. But additionally, it's going to be a high attractant to the Optimism blockchain, and we can build a whole use case around why Optimism over any other EVM chain. One, they're going to find our native Web3 environment there on Optimism before they're going to find it on any other EVM chain. So yeah, that's what we've been working on this week. Also being participatory in the Eden Fractal calls, and then this call, what our first time being in this focus with the what do you call it, Dan, again? Optimistics? Yeah, I think you call it, right?
This is the Optimism
Kind of a play
Fractal.
on words.
But the
Right,
Optimistics is the
Optimism.
team that started Optimism Fractal. Yeah.
Right. So engaging with the team of the Optimistics, which I like the play on the word there, the way it's written. It's kind of like a play on, a combination of optimism and Olympics. So I like that. I like that. I don't know if that was in your thought process when you formed the team, but yeah, we've just been more participating, learning about this ecosystem between Eden Fractals and Optimism Fractals, and creating a wider footprint, I would say, on the Optimism chain. Big fan of it, especially since now we have Blob.
Go Bobs. Yeah. Well, thanks so much, Will. It's been such a pleasure talking with you and collaborating with you so far, and I really appreciate all that you're doing with King Fishers Media and Let's Grow and everything else you're doing for optimism in the world and the regens. Okay, I'm curious if Dani, you want to go next? Or if you want me to go
Um,
next instead.
yeah, I don't know if I understood, but it's about what we're building on optimism, right?
Yeah, so I mean, first off, just feel free. You introduce yourself a bit before we start recording, but if you want to just introduce yourself again for, I know Zaal wasn't here at the time. I don't know if Will was, and anybody watching. If you want to just give yourself a general introduction or give everybody a general introduction to you, and then share what you've been doing to help optimism if you've been working to help optimism as well.
Okay, that's awesome. So yeah, I'm Dani. I'm from Brazil. Currently moving to the south of Brazil, seeking mental health. So I'm gonna live in an island here in Brazil. It would be awesome. I'm a Chainlink community advocate, and also I'm the product and marketing manager at Blockful, a company in Brazil building public goods. And yeah, I'm a post-grad professor also in Brazil. I teach about DAOs, about Web3 in general in some universities here. And yeah, regarding optimism, I have two props, very cool props to be honest. One of them is about private voting. So we want to provide private voting on optimism. It can be cool. It does affect transparency of the DAO, but regarding sensitive topics, it can be cool to vote privately. We all know that private is important in this ecosystem, as we are 0x and blah blah blah. And also we are seeking to scale ANS to optimism. It can be very, very nice. It's not about .op. It's real ANS on optimism. So as soon as my prop be accepted, you can set avatar, you can set everything you want using optimism and paying less gas fees. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm also building a reputation protocol. Is like a project in the future. Of course, I want to deploy it on Optimism. And yeah, it's about reputation. You can increase your reputation in a DAO. So the DAO will not be like plutocracy. Plutocratic? Yes. Only, focus on voting power. So you can increase your voting power by your work, regarding your efforts. So yeah, basically I'm very involved in building public goods for governance tools, dev tools. And yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Dani. There's a lot of awesome stuff you said there, and
Yeah.
really appreciate you joining in and very grateful for your great work.
Yeah, I hope to join the next Optimism Fractal so I can bring like a really, really cool board about the reputation protocol. I don't know if Zug already shared this protocol with you all, but yeah, in the next meetings I can bring this. It's a very interesting topic. Like reputation in DAOs is something that should be considered. Yeah.
Yes, it's very important. And I don't think that Zug did. He shared some cool stuff, but I don't think he shared that. And yeah, feel free if you want to share your screen like Zal did as well in the future. Then you're welcome to do it so that everybody who's watching or everybody who's here can have a visual overview. And I agree. There's several people in the community who are very excited about reputation systems, so including myself. So I'm looking forward to learning about that.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah.
You're very welcome. Yeah, you also, by the way, you still had like a minute left. So if there's anything else you wanted to say, then you could, or if not, I can go ahead. Is there anything else you want to add on to what you shared?
Go ahead, go ahead. It's my first time here, so I'll be like not talking too much.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Well, feel free to share anything else if it comes to mind. And with that, I'll go ahead and share what I've been doing. So, for context, If anyone's not familiar, I'm founder of Optimystics and Optimism Fractal. Optimystics is a four-person team. There's a couple of developers on the team doing awesome work. And you saw Rosmari in the call too. I work with her on marketing and so forth. So I'm constantly working with Optimystics to create as much benefit as possible for the Optimism Collective and the world as a whole. And I suppose there's like kind of like 30 different categories of things I've been doing to help optimism this week. Like three kind of main categories, maybe four. But one is just I'm just always in the Optimism Fractal Notion page, or not always, but like I visit here every day, several times a day. I'm just always or often just updating these projects and adding new projects and so forth. And wherever there's like a little thing that could be helpful to add, like for example, I was working on integrating this Notion page with the Notion API and Pipedream to make it so people can vote with their respect scores in this upvote area. So that's something I was working on. And then I have a couple other pages here where there's like new projects that I added as well. For example, I added after last week we talked about using POAPs, so Optimism Fractal events. So I just kind of just really quickly add this project there that wasn't too long. But then we also talked about making a referral system, and I went back and there's a white paper that our consensus processes are based upon called Fractally. And so I took some screenshots of this and did some research so that if anybody wants to research recruitment system or referral rewards or anything like that while playing the Respect game, then people could check it out. And I also looked at people that asked me questions about the room size of breakout rooms. So actually, I think I did this one last week, so never mind that one. That was a little longer ago. I also worked for a while on this page to explore funding opportunities in Optimism Collective to help people in general, especially people who join Optimism Fractal. Um, I had a call with Zaal last week right after the meeting, and I was telling him about there's a lot of different opportunities in Optimism Collective where you can earn funding. And so I put together this project with some tasks, so to speak, that curate some resources of things I've learned about how you can earn funding from RetroPGF and some Optimism Foundation articles, as well as some videos that the Optimistics had previously made and articles and so forth, where you can learn more to curate it, as well as missions too. I was planning to make a mission, but and I'm really excited about it, but I think I might wait till next time. But I've done a lot of research in there, so I just figure I can just share this knowledge so people can learn more. And we're always working on ways to link up and synergize between Optimism Fractal and RetroPGF. So this is something I'm constantly working in the background too, so that people can earn more by getting more respect. And then I worked on making the events a bit more timely as well. And then one of the other main things I've been doing, kind of other main category that I've been doing, is working on the Fractal app. We're working on building like a Respect Game app to make this really easy. So I have an article about this that I've been working a lot on this week, and also a project that I've been doing with Optimistics. We've been scoping out all these different things that we're doing, and I have a whole bunch of tasks here with lots of notes and conversations with people about different ways that we can build like this kind of standalone app. Right now we'll use fractalgram, which works pretty well, but lots of things we can do to improve it that we're aiming to deliver in the next month, because there's some communities that are quite large that want to use this. One of the things I've also been doing is collaborating with the HATS protocol, which is an on-chain roles ecosystem, and they do really cool stuff where when you earn respect, you can be able to do all sorts of cool stuff. So it can help with councils, it can help with different things like access to telegrams and stuff like that. So I started up this Telegram group with the founders of HATS Protocol and developers on the Optimistics team to explore these. And I shared some messages to share more details. I also looked into Privy and made this project for it, which is, and just embedded wallet solutions, which makes it really easy for people to create accounts on Optimism Fractal or any other event. So I've been doing a lot of research here. This is all open, so if anyone want to check it out, then feel free. And I can also share permissions. And I've also been looking to live peer and communicating with one of their team members to integrate the video infrastructure into Optimism Fractal and Respect Game apps too. I've also been thinking about making like a specific Respect Game.xyz app as well, but I'll share more about that in the future. And I've been working a lot on the Optimistics promotional strategy to promote Optimism Fractal more. Um, and going into many other ecosystems as well to help promote what we're doing across the Ethereum ecosystem and so forth. I think that's about 4 minutes for me. So last thing I'll say is that I also hosted the Eden Fractal meeting each week. It's a community that is on a mission to implement these kinds of fractal decision-making processes like the Respect Game throughout society through collaborative research development, education, gamification, and community engagement. And so I host that meeting every week, and we talked a lot about optimism there and the way to grow it. And that's like kind of like almost like a research arm in some sense for Optimism Fractal, and helping to build these on optimism to bring the innovations of Optimism Fractal everywhere. And then I also like just made a bunch of tweets and retweets. And then I also looked quite a lot into the Let's Grow network after speaking with Will over the past couple weeks too. So I'm looking into it and just like following and seeing all the cool stuff that him and a bunch of other people are doing in the regen space there. that's me. That was probably like a minute over 4 minutes, so apology for going a bit longer. I still haven't gotten like the ability to have a timer in my corner while I speak because it kind of goes away when I speak. I don't know if you can see it, but anyway, hope you all enjoyed. And if anybody has any questions for anybody now that would help you reach consensus, then feel free to ask. I'll also create a group in fractalgram, which is the Telegram app we have. Dani, I'm curious, do you have a Telegram account?
Me?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Oh,
Let me send it here.
okay. Well, you don't have to send it. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna set up a Telegram group, and then I will invite everybody there. I'll share it in the Zoom chat. It's gonna be called OF20 for the 20th Optimism Fractal meeting, and then I'll share the link right now. And then once you join that group, that's where we can reach consensus via polls to determine who did the most to help, second most to help, and third most, and so forth. And then from there, we can post the results on chain. Blobs are the best, I see Zaal saying. That's right. Go blobs. Okay, I just shared that Telegram group link there. Oh, I think I might have made the wrong one.
That one says OF20 on it, Dan.
Yeah, that's the right one, but I think I made a group, so I think anybody should be able to chat here. Okay, cool. Yeah, see somebody's putting some sort of GIF up to the cat here. Okay, nice. Good to know. Okay, I did it correctly. For a second, I thought I did it where it's a channel where nobody could post, but everybody is here now, I think, or yeah, everybody's here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit account prompt, and now, yep, we're all here. Nice to see. So please enter your Optimism account as a reply to this message. I see Zalt did it, and I'm going to do it right now too. If Will and Dani, whenever you get uh, a chance, there we go.
I'm working on it right now.
Okay, sounds good.
It made me log into my password, so we should be good now.
Okay, sounds good. So everybody entered their account correctly, and so now I'm putting up a poll that says, who do you think should be ranked as level 6?
And for
So
clarity, level 6 is the most or the highest contributor to the Optimism Collective, correct?
yeah, yeah, and it's really about who did the most in the last week, but also feel free to use your judgment too. Who do you think did the most to help optimism out of what everybody shared today? Okay, so the results of the poll are in, and it looks like we do not have consensus yet. So Will has 1 vote from me, Zaal has 1 vote from Dani, and I have 2 votes from Will and Zaal. So in order to reach consensus, then we'll need to reach at least 66% consensus, which would mean that there'll need to be at least 3 out of 4 of us who agree. Does anybody want to share why they voted for who they voted for, or advocate either way, or switch their vote either way?
My advocacy for you, Dan, is that you do a lot within the scope of your week. And especially for the 2 groups that you manage that you're connected to that are part of the Optimism Collective. So that's why I voted the way I did.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thank you, Will. I appreciate that very much. I voted for you because I really appreciate all you're doing with Let's Grow and King Fishers. I had the chance to look into it more over the past, I guess, week and a half now, and I really love what you're doing for the regen space, and as well as like specifically contributing to optimism. I'm looking forward to learning more about that. But I remember, I think last week as well, you said that you're deploying some contracts on there too, which sounded really interesting. So yeah, I voted for you. I'm also happy for the point of consensus to vote for myself too, if that would be helpful. But if maybe did want to switch their vote to Will, I'd be happy to go with Will as well. Or if anyone wanted to share any other thoughts, then feel free to do so as well. Thanks for the heart, Dani. And I suppose I'll just vote for myself for the purpose of consensus if nobody says anything else. But I very much appreciate that. Okay. I switched my vote for myself. By the way, if anybody's not familiar, if you right click on it or if you're on mobile and you hold it down, then you can hit retract vote. So that's the way you can change your vote. Oops. And now I'm putting out a poll for level 5. And now we'll see who we think did the second most to help Optimism lately out of Will, Zaal, and Dani. Okay, and it looks like there's consensus for Will. Will has 3 votes, Zaal has 1 vote. So we'll move on to the level 4 to see who helped the third most. And of course, everybody gets respect too. And now we can pick between Zaal and Dani to see who should be level 4. And so far we have everybody's vote, but we don't have Zaal's vote yet. Yep, there we go. Zaal voted. And now it is 50-50. So there's 2 votes for Zaal from Dani and Will, and 2 votes for Dani from me and Zaal. Would anybody like to share their reasoning or try to sway the votes? I see Dani's laughing, having fun with it, I think. Nice to see.
I'm just understanding the dynamic, so I'm okay.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, this comes some of the gameplay where we have to reach consensus. If we don't reach consensus, then nobody gets respect. So we'll see if we can reach consensus and see who should be level 4 and who should be level 3. Of course, everybody receives respect, but you receive about 60% more respect for being a level higher than you would when you're a level lower. If anybody would like to share their thoughts, then feel free. I can also go first too. I voted for Dani. I'm also happy to vote for Zaal too. I think that Zaal is doing amazing work. I voted for Zaal to be level 6, I think many times before, or at least level 5. And like I really think he's doing amazing work with the ZAO. I'm looking forward to the wave wars he's got coming up, and the NFT Zaopalooza too. That was amazing too. So maybe I should vote for that because he's doing such amazing things. But also, I thought that Dani is doing really cool stuff with Blockful and Chainlink, and yeah, I really like all that she's doing too. And I also like to give a little bit of extra rewards to people, or a little extra awards to people who are new too. And she has a great attitude, so that's why
Yeah,
I voted for Dani. But
why don't you switch Dani to yourself? I think that'd be good, especially since you're new. Same here. I'm on that same train. Appreciate everything you said though, Dan.
sounds good, so. And yeah, you can switch to yourself, and it looks like she did. So now we have consensus. And I will put up a last prompt, and this will be consensus results. And there might be a little mistake here because I had a little error getting it to work correctly, but the way it should work, up, damn. Okay, so I'll fix this. For some reason, I messed up the automated aspect of it. But the way it should work is I should just hit a button and then it should all automatically go into a thing where you could just hit one button real quick. But I'll just generate this response manually, and it'll just be one moment. And thanks all for the great game. Hope you all enjoyed it, and really excited to hear about everybody's work. Really appreciate it. The issue that happened for context was that I have to invite another account to start a Telegram poll. One of the things I'm working on, I mentioned that we're working on building this next version of the app, and that's going to make it so we don't have to use Telegram. But right now, there's a little bit of an error where I have to invite somebody, and I suppose I could have invited Zaal or Will in the beginning, but I invited like a separate account. So it's just a technical detail. Nobody really has to know it or be aware of it, but something to just write a little explanation. Okay, it looks like I messed it up again. My apologies. It's just much smoother when it happens, but I'll have it fixed in just one moment. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties here. As he's all said, he'll be right back in 10 minutes and we'll submit after. Sounds good. And I'll share it in the chat.
Am I supposed to do like write my name in the level 4?
No. So normally all you should have to do is where it says results can be submitted here, you should be able to hit where it says here, and then it'll automatically open up a web app that has it pre-filled and auto-generated with the results of who got in each level. But like I was saying, I made a technical error there, but I just shared a link both in the Zoom chat and also in the Telegram chat. So if you click on that link now, and then you'll hit, I think, continue when you first see that, and then you'll see it should automatically generate the
Okay.
results. So you'll see, for example, my account is at the top, right below where it says room 1, and then Will's account is at the second to top, and your account is at the third to top, and Zal's account is at the fourth account.
Okay. Oh my God, I started like 3 transactions.
Okay. No problem if you submit it a couple times or 3.
I think it worked. I think it worked.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good. And curious, Will and Zal, I know Zal said he'll try to submit it after. Yeah, the way it works is we need to
I
get
just pushed it
3 or 4
on
there.
chain. Yeah, my mouse got a little carried away from me. I did multiple transactions. I had to reject the first batch and then do the final one. So it's been pushed on chain from my side.
Okay. Sounds good. I think we're probably ready to go. I messaged the other group to see if they're ready to go back, and I think that they are. I'm not totally sure, but I suppose we can go back to the community room, and then whenever they're ready to go back, then we can meet them there as well. Sound good? I think it sounds
Sounds
good.
good.
All right, cool. I will send us back to the community room, and I'll see you there momentarily. Thanks everybody so much for the awesome Respect game, and hope everybody enjoyed it. And we can talk more about it when we get back there too.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hey Dan.
Hey, Rosmari. Hey, everyone.
Yeah. We
And then
I had the internet issues and I dropped off from my breakout room, but it looks like now we're in the main room. But we're
Yes.
still in the voting process at the moment. We're still reaching consensus.
Oh, okay. Okay, no problem. Well, do you mind if we watch and we spectate?
No.
Okay. Yeah, if you prefer privacy, we can also go back to the other room. But if it's cool, then I suppose we could just listen in and see how it goes. I'll get my popcorn.
We reached level 6 for Abraham. Congrats, Abraham.
thank you.
And now the poll is up for level 5.
Yeah, I voted for Rosmari.
Thank you, Nestor. It looks like myself and Abraham voted for you, so you get level 5. Congrats.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
And now I'm going to put a poll for the consensus results. Which I'm not sure which group number we were, which breakout room.
You group 2.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
So by clicking here, you are going to go to this optimismfractal.web app and see our addresses there lined up per level and on basically illustrating the consensus we agreed. And you can click on submit to push it on chain. Make sure that you're logged into the wallet too, whichever wallet you're using. For example, I'm using MetaMask and I have to first log in for it to work. So I have to log in first and then click submit. And what this does is confirming that this is the consensus we've reached, and now it's on chain too.
And this is just going to be a signature or it's going to be a transaction?
I think it's a transaction.
It's a transaction, yes.
Got it.
Yes.
The network fee has gone down a lot. I can't even tell what it is because it's 0.00. That's great.
Blobs.
Yeah, thank you, Blobs.
Yeah, right.
Need to get some ETH on this public account.
I think I can send you some ETH if you want.
Okay, that would be great. Thank you. I just have Optimism on that account.
Okay. I can send you ETH, then maybe we can confirm once we push it on chain or via chat so that we can proceed with the rest of the.
Wait, I have ETH already. Yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
okay. Nice.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna look for my ledger.
Okay.
All right, sounds good. That was the first time I ever, I think that was the first time I ever had the pleasure of just like live spectating on a Respect game before. So that was fun. I felt like I was at a stadium in the bleachers or something like that, watching on some epic gaming going on. And talking about blobs.
Thank you.
Yeah, this bot is pretty cool.
Cool.
The fractal.
The fractalgram Telegram bot, you mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the Telegram bot, it's pretty cool.
Nice. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, it was built by Tadas, who's one of the developers in the Optimistics team. He usually comes to most Optimism Fractal meetings, but he said he wasn't feeling so well today, so he'll probably be here next week. But yeah, he does amazing work, and it's a nice app. We're also working on a app that works independently of Telegram as well. Make it actually a lot easier. We're making it so you can log in with like an email account or anything else like that if you want, or just a regular Optimism account to make it like way easier for people to use. But for now, it works pretty well. I had a couple errors. Rosmari did it much smoother than I did when she was hosting it. I messed it up, but glad to hear you enjoyed it, Nestor.
Yes, I submitted my transaction, and we need at least 2/3, so at least 2 people from out of 3 to submit it on chain for it to be valid. So if someone else has submitted it, then that would be sufficient enough.
I did it. I submitted
Ah,
already.
great, thank you.
Okay, I did too.
Oh, amazing. 3 out of 3.
Oh, wait, I did the submit, then I sign a transactions, and then I see another pop-up saying, please make sure submission represent consensus of a group, and then again, push it on chain. So do you need to do 2 transactions?
You
No,
should,
1.
yeah, you should only need to do one transaction.
Hmm.
I
Sometimes,
can check. I can check if the transaction has gone through.
It
Okay.
kind of looks like the UI sometimes presents you with the ability to submit it more than once, at least on mine. So as long as you submitted it that first time, it'll be okay.
Yes, I see it. I confirm that the transaction went through. You don't need to do it again.
sounds good.
Right.
Do you see, by the way, while you're there on the Block Explorer, Rosmari, we also got 3 out of 4 consensus from our room, right?
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you for confirming.
Quick question, is this using Ethereum Attestation Service?
It is not currently, no, but we have a project to integrate with the Ethereum Attestation Service, and I've done a lot of research into the EAS, and I think it's very interesting, and I would love to integrate with it somehow, but it's not integrated in any way right now, though.
Okay, yeah. I thought at first, but yeah, that would be great.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna also just close breakout rooms because Zaal is I think he's coming back. Welcome Hadlan. Thanks for joining. And so you had another meeting to join, but appreciate you joining here for us at the end of the meeting and towards the planning session. Hope you're doing great.
So, yep, doing well. I hope the whole session went well. I know I'm jumping in at the end.
Yep, it went very well. It was a great time, and we're about to go into the planning session for anybody who can stick around too. Also, it's a pleasure seeing you hop on at the Hats call before. So yeah, curious if anybody has any other thoughts you want to share for the Respect game, but I think we're pretty much done with the Respect game now. So the way this usually works is that at the top of the hour, we jump into kind of a planning session, which is generally kind of like an open planning discussion. We're working on having integrations. There's a game we sometimes, or there's a game we're building and we sometimes play at other Fractal events called Agendas, where it's like you can vote with respect points to or respect tokens on what topics you want to discuss, but that's still not like fully built in right now. So right now it's kind of much more of like an informal discussion planning session, and we do have like a system where we could vote on topics and stuff like that. But also if anybody just has any ideas, we're a relatively small group, so we can just have kind of an open discussion here. I could bring up some topics that I had in mind, and I can perhaps announce a couple things, but also just happy to hear everybody's thoughts in general. So if anybody needs to go, then feel free at any time, of course. But we're about to embark on the Optimism Fractal planning session. And curious to hear everybody's thoughts. If you have any questions or anything like that, then feel free to raise your hand like Will is doing now, and then we'll discuss it. Also curious to hear, Nestor, I didn't get the chance to hear from you in your Respect game, so I'm curious to hear a bit about you too, if you want to introduce yourself a bit for the audience here in the general community room, if anyone wants to share anything in general. But first, I see Will has his hands up, so I'll pass it over to Will.
Yeah, no worries, Dan. Thank you. I appreciate it. I was just going to say goodbye, everybody. It's been a fun time. I cannot stay for the planning session this week. I do intend on being here next week, though. I have to get back, Dan. You know what I have to do? I have to get back to that proposal. We already missed the first week. 2 bonus points, deadlines. I've got to get back on that proposal and get that off my plate today if possible. So.
All right. Well, sounds good, Will. Good luck on the proposal, and thanks so much for joining us and making time out of your busy schedule to join us. Really appreciate it. It's great speaking with you, and I wish you well. Hope that the proposal goes awesome. Hope it'll get approved.
Yeah, hopefully it does.
Bye,
Thanks.
everyone.
Take care, everyone. See
Also,
you next week.
Wish
nice to
you
meet you
Okay,
all.
see you well. And I think I heard Dani say goodbye too. So thanks so much, Dani. If you want to say anything else before you go, then feel free.
No, just thank you all for this meeting. Thank you, guys. Bye. See
All
you
right.
all soon.
You're welcome. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great one.
Nice meeting you.
All right. Okay, cool. So here we are in the planning session now, and if you want, I could share a little overview of some topics that we could discuss and some updates as well. But also, I don't know if anybody has anything on their mind, then feel free to share. Or like I mentioned before, Nestor, if you want to give a little general introduction. I think that Rosmari recorded the breakout room, by the way. I'm not totally sure, but I know you had some issues, Rosmari, with internet connection and stuff like that. So one of the things we're aiming to do is have it where I think where all breakout rooms can get recorded and then shared as well, but we're still sometimes we mess up, we don't record them all, but just a kind of general note, if you wanted to introduce yourself a little bit for the audience who's watching this video, Nestor, then feel free. We'd love to hear from you.
Sure.
Okay,
Sure.
cool.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nestor. I've been in the space for a while, pretty much developer, and I've been developer relations before in other chains, and also been part of other communities, like Chainlink community, like a Starknet community, Celo community also. So yeah, pretty much a technical developer that have been creating technical content also in order to onboard more people. So before I have created video pieces of content and animations in order to explain and distill these protocols explanation in order to onboard more people, how to use a specific protocol. So that has been my experience. Also, I do we are creating a nonprofit in New Mexico called Mycelia. So it's basically mesh a wireless network there, and we are creating a model in which we are going to implement some ReFi ecosystem there. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
All right, awesome. Well, it's such a pleasure to meet you, Nestor. And thanks so much for all the great work and doing the technical development and helping onboard people into Ethereum and Optimism. I think you mentioned Chainlink and a couple other ecosystems. So that's all super helpful and really appreciate it. And also
Thank you.
mycelia. I was just listening to the podcast. I don't know if that's related to mycelium, like mushrooms, but I was just listening to the podcast that Kevin Owaki did about mycophi and
Yeah,
mycelium and how like it's quite related to fractals too, the fractal nature of Optimism Fractal, and
yeah,
how he talks about how like mushrooms are the oldest fractal and oldest kind of coordination mechanism. So that sounds very
exactly.
interesting too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely that we have a lot of inspiration there. And yeah, basically it's this idea on how can we create a sustainable network that has different vertical where everyone could, every component could connect to each other in a nurturing way. So yeah, more to be shared in the upcoming months when we are gonna be launching the network. And yeah, we have different components there. So yeah, pretty excited about it.
Super cool. Well, I'm looking forward to learning more about it and seeing it at launch. And if you feel like sharing any links in the Zoom chat or in the Discord, I don't know if you join the Discord, but I'd love to read up on it and look into it and see whatever you're working on. Um, and so that would be cool. And then I'm also curious too. I don't mean to bore Rosmari and Abraham too, because I don't know if you already went over this, but I'm curious just if you wanted to share a general overview about what you thought about the Respect game, as well if you had any feedback about the Respect game. I know you like the app. Feel free if you want to keep it short or if you already responded like that, then no need to repeat. I suppose I can watch the other video, but would be curious, Nestor, if you did have any feedback about the Respect game or any thoughts about Optimism Fractal that you wanted to share as well. And thanks, Rosemary, for sharing the Discord channel and the Zoom chat as well.
I mean, as feedback, right? I think as a feedback, I don't know. I really like the integration of the game and pretty much the bot. That idea is pretty neat. I really like it. Uh, yeah, yeah, pretty curious on how everything is gonna be. It's gonna evolve. Right now, my first assumption was like, okay, this is using EAS. So I would like to see how that evolves in order to integrate Ethereum Attestation Service. And yeah, looking forward how can I contribute to that? Because I'm pretty excited on use cases of Ethereum Attestation Service on Optimism and with this idea of this Respect game. I think I mean, it's great.
Wonderful. Well, thanks so much for the feedback. I see Rosemary and Hotline put up the hearts. Maybe I'll go ahead and put up the heart too. Love to see it. I'd love to hear it. Um, so yeah, and perhaps I can share a bit more detail. See Abraham going with the heart too. Yeah, really glad you enjoyed it so much, and looking forward to collaborating too. If you have any questions, Nestor, like feel free to reach out to me or in the Discord as well. We can also connect you with the developers who are working on Optimism Fractal as well. All our code is open source as well. And then perhaps maybe helpful if I go ahead and share my screen a bit. If anybody has anything you want to discuss, then of course feel free to jump in or raise your hand at any point. But maybe I'll give a little presentation, also follow up on some of the stuff that Nestor said, and also talk a little bit about the EAS integrations and maybe introduce EAS for anybody who's not familiar as well. So this is the Optimism Fractal planning session. We'll probably be doing this for another 20, 25 minutes. If we want, we can always wrap up early, but happy to stick around. And then if we want to go longer, happy to stick around to talk with anybody too. So basically, this planning session is devoted to providing a place where we can brainstorm and coordinate and create the future Optimism Fractal, as well as just general integrations with the Respect game as well. We're aiming to integrate this kind of Respect game and implement in many other communities and organizations as well. So feel free to bring up anything related to Optimism Fractal or optimism in general. And then it was we just talked about the tools and Nestor expressed some interest in the way the tools work. We do have the Optimistics team, the founders of Optimism Fractal, um, build these open source tools that help people play the Respect game on the OpenSec and more generally the EVM. We have a little intro video if anybody want to check out how this works as far as how we did the fractalgram game in Telegram, where and this was actually from the first Optimism Fractal meeting where a few of us on the Optimistics, we talked about it and you could see in a Telegram and so forth. So you could see how it currently works here, where we're making polls and stuff like that. And then well, people probably saw it if you're already playing it, but for anybody who's not familiar, there's that. And then lots more information, links here, open source repositories, and more videos where you can watch it, obviously. And then at the bottom, there's a section about articles where we've worked on a lot of articles to curate the tools. We've been building these tools for the past like 3 years to some extent. So there's quite a lot of development that's gone into these tools. They're fairly nascent on the EVM because we're working in another ecosystem in Web3, but I can go into more of those. But first, I see Zaal just raise his hand. So first, I'll pass it to Zaal if you want to share anything here.
Are you guys sorry, I had to jump on another call and I haven't been in and out this last meeting. If you guys have like a topic in mind, I'd love to put whatever I'm going to talk about at the end of whatever conversation you're having, but I have something different on a different vein to share. So I don't know if you guys were in the middle of something, by all means we can continue that and just like come back to me after.
Okay, sounds good. No problem for jumping in and out. Thanks for letting us know. And yeah, I was just in the middle of sharing some of the tools and potential integrations with the EAS or Ethereum Attestation Service. So maybe we'll keep on talking about this for at least a couple minutes and we'll see where it goes. But I don't know if Zal, you want to just like throw out the title of the topic that you want to bring up and see if we can weave it in, or if not, we can save it for like maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes, something like that. And I'm happy to get into it.
Yeah, for sure. So as Z talent, I'm trying to implement something like the Respect Game in our weekly Zooms, and I want to create something in the Optimism Fractal group, like we've been talking about for inviting more people. Also, potentially the idea and concept of floating a new token for creating new, like you've done from Eden Fractal to Optimism Fractal, like that, sharing creating new consensus games on Optimism, as that a form of outreach and a form of respect that we could do. And I'm also interested if anyone else is interested in chatting with me after the fact about different ways we can play this consensus game and or different other consensus games with musicians. So that's kind of where I wanted to talk about. But like again, can always be another week.
Okay, cool. I think you muted yourself right at the end of what you're saying though, but I think I heard 99% of it, so we got it. And yeah, that sounds awesome. So let's definitely discuss that, and I think we'll have time for it. We still have 20 minutes left, and I'll just be another couple minutes to explain the thing I was aiming to explain, and then we can maybe hear from Nestor, Abraham, or Hadlan or Rosmari about this topic, and then after we're done with this, then excited to get into all the stuff you said right there, and happy to help out however we can. I'm sure we can help out in lots of ways. So yeah, I was just saying that there's tools that we can use and tools that that Zal can use with the Z Talent agency and that musicians can use. A lot of these tools I've been thinking for a long time about how they can help musicians and developers and engineers and artists and so forth. So there's some articles that go into detail. Some of these are like a little bit they need to be added and updated and so forth. But they have a lot of good information here. So for example, the one that we just used in Telegram, this one's called fractalgram. So if anybody really wanted to get into this, then we have lots of videos and blog posts that were written about this with more information. So just for example, there's lots of information if people wanted to dive into this. And we've actually been experimenting with asynchronous respect games too with fractalgram as well with Telegram, which works quite well and I think is a huge design field. Respect tree is another thing that we're working on, but I'll get into that later. The thing I wanted to mention here as well is the Fractal app, which is what we're building to we're aiming to have this in the next like month or so. And I've already shared this a little bit in my breakout room, so I won't go into too much detail, but we're building like an all-in-one app. So you don't have to, first we're going to build it so it works alongside Zoom and you don't have to use Telegram and just like a one single web app where you can do stuff. And then eventually there's several teams that are developing that we're planning to port over. Like this has a all-in-one app where you can do the video as well as do a ranking thing where you can like drag and drop the account name too. So just a little preview. That's something that we're working on and we'll have pretty soon. There's like some consensus and stuff like that, all sorts of cool stuff you can do with it. But yes, this is just how we did it basically now. And then I wanted to show as well the Optimism Fractal Notion page, because this is a great place if you want to learn more about what's going on at Optimism Fractal and get involved with any of the projects and initiatives. So this page is basically dedicated to providing a collaborative space, and so far there's like, I don't know, probably 8 or 9 people who have joined this. And if anybody wants to join and get access, I mean, it's public, so everybody can read it. And maybe I'll just go ahead and just share a link in the Zoom chat, wherever my Zoom chat is, or if anybody else can share a link, then that would be, oh, I see. Okay, I see Zal saying, well, it sounds amazing. Would love to join and help with that process of my experience. Okay. Sounds good. Awesome, Zal. And I just shared the link to the Notion page if you want to check it out. And if anybody wants to edit access or comment access, then feel free to let me know as well. We're also working on decentralizing this with like Charm or something like that. But for now, we have it here. And on this page, there's a bunch of projects and tasks and topics and different things you can look into. And one of the main things that I work on a lot that you can find a lot of helpful information about is this. I don't know why it's only showing one up because I have it searched for UX right now. So we have a lot of different projects that are in progress and in planning and so forth, where you can learn about different things that we're doing. So for example, one of the projects is explore integrations with Ethereum Attestation Service, the EAS, which Nestor talked about how it could be integrated with. EAS is a service that allows people, it's short for Ethereum Attestation Service. It's an infrastructure public good for making attestations on chain or off chain about anything. There's some really great videos about this on Green Pill and Bankless. You can learn more, and they have attest.sh.com or .sh rather, not .com, where you can learn more. But I think it'd be really cool if Respect could be also an attestation in this way. It kind of is an attestation already, but an on-chain attestation, but it's not using the standard from the EAS currently. And using it as a standard enables a lot of really cool functionality. So encourage people to check it out if you're interested in that. I think it'd be great integration. And we have this project here where I wrote a little bit of notes about how there's a lot of synergies and it'd be more composable, and how EAS has partnerships with Optimism Foundation and Coinbase and Gitcoin that would be cool to tap into. And then there's some tasks here too, where like I think I did all these where you can like I had one for about researching it, and I took a little timestamp about where somebody one of their founders talked about something that seemed very interesting in 10 minutes. So that was something that I found interesting and wanted to add here to research to see if it can help automate Respect distribution. That's another thing we're aiming to do. And so there's some different topics. I also curated some of the videos here too. So these are some of the videos I watched on Bankless and Green Pill. So if anyone wanted to add projects here too, this is meant to be like very collaborative. So feel free to like add them or move them along and stuff like that. And then there's a whole bunch of other ones too. Like we talked about improving fractalgram, and we have a project here where there's another one. It needs to be a bit better organized, but I know that DOS recently made some improvements to Fractalgram, and we have another project for making the Respect Game app and all sorts of other stuff. So this, in addition to the GitHub page, is a great place for anybody who wants to build. And this also is kind of just more general stuff too. That's like both technical development as well as non-technical development. We have a tag here too. It needs to be better organized, but like there's some for technical development, and over time we'll add like marketing tags and stuff like that. So all sorts of different projects that people can check out here. And curious what you think about that, Nestor, as far as ES or all this stuff in general. I'm curious what everybody thinks about it. And then there's also tasks, which are kind of heavy to from there. But yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to show there. Oh, and then I guess one thing I wanted to share too is one project I put together that might be helpful for this is we're aiming to make it so that we're aiming to like link up and synergize Optimism Fractal and Respect more with RetroPGF. RetroPGF, it's like the biggest public goods funding mechanism in the world, as far as I'm aware, with over 30 million OP given out, and they have 800 million OP devoted for RetroPGF, and then more are coming. So I put together this project as a way to just try to like curate some of the knowledge that I have about how these funding mechanisms work. I was speaking with Zaal about it and saying that Optimism is a great place to earn funding, and there's two main like big opportunities for funding in Optimism. One is RetroPGF, and I have a little page here where I talked a little bit about RetroPGF and how it works, and then linked some articles from the Optimism Foundation where you can learn more about how the last round went and so forth. And then there's a video that we did from Eden Fractal some months ago when we were first getting involved with Optimism and RetroPGF on the Optimystics team, where you can learn a little bit more, and some articles. And then there's a similar thing too and there's some events too for like where you can speak with people in the Optimism Collective to learn more. And then there's also a similar thing for missions. I know that a couple people like Will was saying he's working on a mission, and that's due next week on the 27th. So if anybody wanted to make a mission, you can also, there's about 10 million OP that's available for missions too. So just to say that like people, like we're working on ways that people can earn funding by helping Optimism Fractal as well. And then just in general by helping Optimism, and we want to provide a service for that. And one of the things we're also working on is exploring these synergies. We have several different articles about something called OPF trees and stuff, where people can vote with respect on projects that should earn funding. This page isn't really super well organized yet, but just put it together, and I just want to put that as kind of a second part that hopefully we'll get lots of funding, because there's so many things that we could do here. And it's also, people need funding. So hopefully we can find ways that people can get do all these great things that are super helpful and be able to implement in communities like Optimism Fractal and the one that Zaal was talking about, and also be able to earn funding while doing so to be more, financially independent and well off and stuff like that. So that was kind of a longer presentation than I expected. Feel free, I'm curious everybody's thoughts, but maybe I'll stop talking now and see what everybody thinks.
Oh, that's great. A great explanation. So yeah, looking forward on how to add some. I don't know how that will work to add some content on the Notion dashboard, specifically on the EAS. For example, I'm thinking that right now is the idea will be just to understand what is the thinking behind all the data that is stored. Will be IPFS. I'm not sure yet on this mechanism, and then pretty much try to wrap this idea in the schema, right? Because EAS works with this mindset of schemas, and basically we need to arrive to a consensus on all the fields that are going to be used in that schema, and then once we reach consensus, then we are pretty much have the opportunity to integrate with EA, Ethereum Attestation Service. So I think that like 2 to 3 steps right now. But yeah, the idea will be to add that into the Notion section, right? And then from then, what are the next steps?
Well, so those are great steps and great suggestions. I really appreciate your interest in helping with this, Nestor. That sounds amazing. So for one thing, I can give you access if you want to send me your if you have a Notion account, an email. If you want to PM me your email, then I can give you access to it, so you can add anything that you think is helpful to the Notion page. And then one other thing that I think might be related to this that's maybe worth sharing too, because I think it'll probably integrate with how we do. Yes, thank you. I'll add you momentarily. I just saw you private message me that. Yeah, so one other thing that I think is probably helpful to mention here too, I'll be quick about this, is we have another project here that's called Improve Visibility for Optimism Fractal Respect. And this kind of goes into details about exactly how Respect lives on the OP mainnet. There's a video that this was about 2 months ago or so, so it's a little bit outdated, but it's mostly still correct. Where we talked about how there's a really unique token design for Respect that Tadas came up with, where Respect is both a fungible token, it's a non-transferable token, it's a Soulbound token, but it's both fungible and non-fungible. It can work with both interfaces, so it shows up in there are some difficulties too because of how he designed it, but it shows up in explorers like Block Scout, for example, where you can just see like the total amount of people who hold in, the total respect and so forth, and then it's taking a while to load, but you could see how much respect that each account has and stuff like that, and it's like an ERC 721. But then at the same time too, oops, I just lost, what was I looking at here? Yeah, but then at the same time too, though, it also shows up in NFT explorers. And right now it doesn't work out great. Like you can see I have some POAPs and other things that look good, but right now it says null for the Optimism Fractal Respect. But we'd love to make it where like we have a bunch of great artwork for Optimism Fractal. And we'd love to make it where there's great artwork for Optimism Fractal that people can see, as well as some metadata so that people can see that, oh, I joined that event and maybe I earned 50 respect or 20 respect that week or whatever, and I had a good time, and they could share it with friends and stuff like that. So we have a video here where we explain how that works basically. And then there's also another page here that Tadas recently wrote about a month ago, as well as some other tasks here that you might be interested in checking out. But in this article, Tadas wrote like a technical specification about how to improve representation on Respect on block explorers. So he talked about the current situation where we have some issues with how it displays in block explorers, and then his potential solutions. And he talks about how like these are ERC 721, ERC and ERC 20, and how it works, and his rationale for having these two kinds of token interface viewability ways of doing it. And he's also thinking about using ERC 1155. So I don't know if that's helpful, because I know you mentioned IPFS. I'm not exactly sure what IPFS, I guess. I don't know if EAS works on IPFS or not, which is the interplanetary file system, or if this is helpful, but this is all on chain. And this is also in the Notion page too. So if that's helpful, I just wanted to share that with you, Nestor, too, because I feel like that might have some effect exactly what the token standards and so forth are when you're plugging that in, when we're plugging that into the EAS, and then we have to figure out the schema on top of that, which I guess would be like how much respect they earn or different stuff like that, I suppose.
Yeah, that translation process, I can imagine now that with the data that you show is like it could take a while, right? Because it's very well thought on these kind of non-fungible and fungible at the same time tokens. So yeah, looking forward to learn more about it, and then after that, like, kind of explore an opportunity to integrate it with EAS. Right now, with this token explanation, I'm not quite sure if how that could work, that translation process in order to arrive to that schema. But yeah, I'm gonna look forward for that.
Okay, well, sounds good. Yeah, hopefully I didn't confuse you with so much. It's a little bit confusing how it's set up. But yeah, if you'd like, I'd be happy to send you a message afterwards and send you links to these things to make it easier for you to check it out. And then I'd also be happy to connect you with Tadas and Vlad, who are the two developers on the Optimistics team. And then I don't know if it'd be helpful to talk with them or just have a chat with them or something like that. So I'd be happy to connect you with them, and then we could figure it out. And one other note too is that Tadas is thinking about using ERC 1155 because that might be just like a simpler thing to do. And there are some really nice benefits of having it both fungible and non-fungible, because one of the ideas that one of the reasons why he did that is to have it where you could say like who earned the most respect over the past 12 weeks rather than just in total, because you could see who earned, like you can help by the NFTs, not just total respect over all time, but you can be able to see like who earned over the past 6 weeks, past 12 weeks. And we also recently started up a public chat with Hats Protocol. I don't know if you're familiar with Hats Protocol, but it's an on-chain coordination protocol that's really fascinating. And we've been going back and forth with the team there, and we're thinking of building like a respect eligibility module where it uses the respect to be able to unlock different kinds of roles and powers, like access to a Telegram or Discord or ability to be on council or something like that. So yeah, basically a whole bunch of cool stuff going on. And I don't know. I think I found you on Twitter before, Nestor, so maybe we'll follow up there, or feel free to send me a message, and then I'd be happy to connect you with Tadas and Vlad. I think they'd be very happy to speak with you, or at
Yeah,
least chat.
sure. Happy to chat. Thanks.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you. You're very welcome. Okay, so that was a very interesting discussion. Curious if anybody has any thoughts on that. Abraham, Rosmari, Hadlan, Zaal. If not, we can also get into Zaal's topic. We still have about 5 minutes left before we wrap it up. So sorry, Zaal, we didn't get so much time to discuss. Of course, we can discuss it at next week's meeting in more detail, and I'm also happy to discuss it after we end the recording too. But we'll have
We
at
are
least a little bit of time.
totally we are totally good. I've honestly been busy with a bunch of other things along the way. So if you wouldn't mind slotting it in for next week, that'd be awesome.
Okay, yeah, I'd be happy to. We could even try making a proposal. We haven't done that yet. But oh, by the way, what we're going to do is we're going to, I said before, there's 5 people on the council: me, Rosemary, Tadas, Hadlan, and Zal. If anybody's not familiar that works on that shows at optimismfractal.com/details. Basically, we have a weekly registration poll where everybody can register to like kind of apply to be in the council, and then the top 6 people who have the most respect to register are in the council. So. I could just slot it myself as a host and kind of keep it informal, but another way we could do it is like formally vote on topics too. So just an idea. But yeah, I'm happy to slot some time for that's all.
No, I like it. Let's me and you set some time this week and we'll create a proposal on a call together. I have a couple ideas and I'd love to bounce that off of you, and then we'll post the proposal and next week's council can vote on it. I don't know if I got in on this one, but I'm gonna make sure to do next week's if someone's already put it up.
Okay, cool. I think you are on this one actually. I think you signed up right away. I could pull it up just to be sure. And we don't have to make any sort of complex proposal. We could just put up like a quick thing, like let's talk about Azala's plans and like that. Like we don't have to think about it too much. But yeah, happy to meet up and talk about that. Also, if you wanted, we still have 5 minutes left too. So if you want to talk about it a little bit right now, we can. Or I see Abraham's unmuted too. So curious.
Oh, just a side note, Dan. I was thinking, I would love to help a little bit with either some front end or some like API stuff. So I'll take a look through this list. I don't know if you have anything off the top of your head. Feel free to hit me up, after.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff. We probably could have like a tag in the database to show like front end and API stuff. And I'm curious, we have been meaning to hook up the Notion API with the with Respect, so you can vote in Notion on things. That would be a really cool thing that I was just talking about. Also, there's lots of stuff that we're doing with the front end too, and uh, there's lots of opportunities that we could discuss. So let's maybe follow up with that. And then there's also I started up a developer or development chat in the Discord as well, like a week
Nice.
ago or a few weeks ago, but we haven't really used it much. So I don't know if
Okay.
I should start it there, or feel free to share any messages there, or maybe I'm going to be meeting with Tadas and Vlad tomorrow too, so I can also ask them what the highest priorities are, and we can like maybe start a group chat or something like that, or figure it out to see what's
Sure.
most interesting. And if you have any specific like projects or tasks or ideas in mind that you think would be awesome to do, or that you're most interested in, then I'd be very interested to hear about it.
Okay, I'll take a look at the list and see if I can come up with something intelligible.
Okay, cool. Sounds great. Thanks, Abraham. And feel free to reach out as always, and then I'll reach out as soon as I can when I have some ideas about some cool front end or API stuff that to see what you're interested in. I'm also interested to hear if you've been still working with Science Unbounded too, and how that's going. But I hope it's going well anyway.
Yeah, they're still trying to get funding and get governance and all that sorted out. So I probably will have some time before that all starts up, if it starts up.
Okay, sounds great. Well, I just sent the invite, Nestor, to you, so you should be able to have full access to that Notion page now. And then I also wrote some notes to follow up with Abraham and Nestor, and also with Zaal too. We're about 2 minutes from the hour, so I don't know if there's anything else we want to discuss. If Zaal, you want to give us a little bit of a preview again, but you kind of did that already. We can also just wrap it up now, or Rosmari Hotline. We haven't heard much from you over the past half hour. Curious if anybody has any last thoughts you want to share before we wrap it up?
No, nothing for me.
Thank you. I'm just enjoying listening.
Okay,
Same.
cool.
I just made the proposal for next week's because no one did that yet.
Yeah.
And
That's how it
yeah,
works.
it was nice because you made it copy and pastable. You did next week, so all I had to do is change it to week 21. So that's exactly what we need. Like something that's very easy for someone else to just like see it, like know like the formatting and just do it.
I love
Love
it.
it.
Love it.
I need. I actually had an idea that I did want to propose. Has anyone heard of Robert's Rules?
Yes, I have.
I think
But
making a Robert's Rules of Web3 DAOs could be a really good structuring for DAOs or like groups like this, like Optimism Fractals or communities of or ways of governance. Just like common things that like new people to Web3. Like for me, I don't know a lot about different tools DAOs are using, but that could be an opportunity. If that makes sense. I don't know to make a standardization, but like using something like a Robert's Rules to like how to work in this async world if you want to do something like that. And you have like 5 people all over the world, you want to be able to do something async and maybe not even have a time like this where we have a weekly Zoom. I think that could be a really cool opportunity and like something that could easily be built out and submitted for RetroPGF, or it might even already be a thing.
great idea. I love it. Thanks, all. Yeah, I've heard about Robert's Rules, but I only know about one of them. Not just kidding. But I haven't had much time to research it. But I've thought a lot about like all sorts of kinds of cooperative processes that can go along with Robert's Rules, or just go along with communities. I thought a lot about like dispute resolution and code of conduct and all sorts of stuff like that, which I think it's fairly similar, and I think that's a really valuable and helpful thing to have in addition to like the Respect Game and stuff like that. Um,
I did 3 days. I messed up.
Okay,
Gotta redo it. Okay.
I guess it wasn't easy
Not
enough to copy and
instantly
paste.
easy, but pretty close.
Okay. Yeah, maybe because we recently changed our time. Previously it was on Monday, so you might have done a previous one. We're at the half hour, so I want to make sure we respect everybody's time. But I also want to just share my screen one last time here, just to show this is the Robert's Rules of Order that I was talking about. So I'm looking forward to maybe like listening in and learning more about this, the rules you need in the meeting. So it seems like lots of things that we can learn about here. And so thanks for that suggestion. And then the proposals that Zal made, if you want to maybe create a new one though, I think it should be pretty easy to do, and it ends in 7 days. So it ends on the next Monday. And if it could end at 17 UTC, that's the way it should work. You can see, for example, I think you should be able to just copy and paste the one that Hodlon did and just make sure it's
There
one
was
week.
a duplicate actually button, so I didn't even actually need to
Ooh.
copy and paste initially. I pressed new proposal and copied and pasted it, but I could have just pressed duplicate, changed the 20 to a 21, changed the timing, and been good. How do I delete this? Is there a delete? Never
Okay,
mind.
I guess you figured it out. Okay, cool.
Pretty self-explanatory, actually.
There we go. And
That's
now it's
cool.
And now it's at 7 days. Thank you very much, Saul. If I refresh it, I think that it will probably be done. Yeah, a snapshot is really impressive. And so we can already vote with respect on here and so forth. So love to see it. If anybody wants to make any proposals here, then feel free to hit new proposal. Anybody with respect can make proposals and get proposals. Tadas gives the respect out. Right now, it's like Tadas is just processing it. At some point, we want to automate it. But everybody will get the respect within a week or so, or within a few days, within a week, to be able to vote here. And then you can see who is in the current council for this week. It's me, Rosmari, Hadlan, Tadas, and Zaal, and then this is for the next week's council. So I encourage everybody, if you want to participate in the next week's council, hit yes and hit vote, and then you'd be able to do proposals and stuff like that. And there's more details about this at optimismfractal.com/details, where you can see how this can help, like voice community opinions and stuff like that. And we have several videos where you can learn more about this as well if you go to media, where you can see the first proposal that we approved and the formation of the council and stuff like that. So anyway, we should probably wrap it up, but just wanted to show that a little bit. So if anybody has any proposals, then looking forward to getting into it. And feel free to reach out to me, or feel free to reach out on the Discord or other community members. Love to see all the collaborations. Really appreciate everybody's interest in like building out the future of Optimism Fractal and Respect Game in more communities. I think that's amazing. So thank you everybody so much. Really appreciate it. Huge amount, and invite everybody to join Optimism Fractal every Thursday at 17 UTC, and invite your friends and so forth. Lou.ma/Optimism Fractal and optimismfractal.com. Thanks all so much. Any last words before we wrap it up, or anything else? Or we can go, we sometimes wrap it up with the 3, 2, 1, go Optimism Fractal as we like to, so we could do that if we like.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks all. 3, 2, 1, 0.
Go
Whoa,
Optimism
Optimism
Fractal.
Fractal.
Woo!
Woo! All right. Thanks all so much, and looking forward to see you next time.
See you guys.
Man,
Bye,
you
everyone.
make this feel like an amazing, like, like those teams that do that after sports events. Like, that was phenomenal. I love it. Every time I make it to the very end of the meeting, I get to enjoy that, and I just wanted to say how much I appreciate that.
Thanks all. I really appreciate that a lot. I'm glad you like it, and it wouldn't be possible without everybody's enthusiasm too. Sometimes I have a little bit like, should we do? But everybody's like, yeah, let's do it, and it's like 3, 2, 1, go, or something. So yeah, really appreciate that so much, all, and thank you so much, everybody.
Bye.
Bye bye.